Sam Altman was talking about curing cancer with AGI, and he needed more data centers, he needed more money, so they could either cure cancer or provide a private tutor to everyone in the world, or if people gave him more money, he'd be able to do both. And then he releases an AI slop video generator. Good morning, this is AI with Kyle. We are racing towards the end of the year at absolute light speed, and there is basically one piece of news today, which is the launch of Sora 2. So I got access. The main difficulty I was having was it is not available in the UK. There is a workaround. I will tell you how to get it in the UK shortly. Overall, extremely impressed. Extremely impressed. And I want to eat my words because yesterday I was moaning a bit. Last week, Sam Altman was talking about curing cancer with AGI, and he needed more data centers, he needed more money, so they could either cure cancer or provide a private tutor to everyone in the world, or if people gave him more money, he'd be able to do both. And then he releases an AI slop video generator. I've tried it. It's very good. It's very good. Whether or not it produces AI slop is going to be up to the user, but I'm going to show you some things I've been using it for, which I think might maybe justify its existence, but we'll have a look at it. Let's hop over and see what Sam said about Sora. If you're on social media at the moment, there's no way you're not seeing these Sora 2 posts. It's only available, I think, in the US and Canada at the moment, but you can get it elsewhere. But you need an invite code, and you're going to have to use a VPN, and you cannot do it on your telephone. So we are launching a new app called Sora. It's a combination of a new model called Sora 2 and a new product. So an actual application that makes it easy to create, share, and view videos. It's like a social media app. So when you go into it, you're scrolling through it like you would in TikTok. It basically looks like TikTok. It even has a big plus button at the bottom for you to make videos. It's TikTok. This feels to many of us like the ChatGPT for creativity moment, and it feels fun and new. There is something great about making it really easy to and fast to go from idea to result, and the new social dynamics that emerge. Creativity could be about to go through a Cambrian explosion, and along with it, the quality of arts and entertainment can drastically increase. Even in the very early days of playing with Sora, it's been striking to many of us how open the playing field suddenly feels. This sounds like hyperbole, but I've been using it for the last half an hour or so, and I get this. I get it. The model is so good, and the results it produces are so high quality with very minimal prompting. It's not just the video, but also the audio, that it feels like a ChatGPT moment. It feels, oh, okay, this is different. It doesn't just feel like another video generator. It feels genuinely exciting. So I've spent the last 30 minutes feverishly making videos, but I knew that I had to come on this live. In particular, the ability to put yourself and your friends into a video. This is so important. The team worked very hard on character consistency with the Cameo feature. Is something we've really enjoyed during testing, and it is to many of us surprisingly compelling new way to connect. I think this is the key. It's not just generating videos of cats, or if you've ever used Grok Imagine, you scroll through that feed and it has all of the pre-generated images, pre-generated videos, and they're not very exciting. They're all kind of AI slop, for want of a better word. What you can do now is you can put yourself and your friends into videos, which means you can use them to tell jokes. You can do inside jokes in your videos. You can do memes of each other. The ability to get your external friends and yourself and get them into the videos is really cool, really cool. And the way they do it is very smart. You can upload your own likeness, and you control that likeness. You control that Cameo, basically. Then if you are linked to people, if they are friends with you on the app, you can give them permission to use that likeness. So it doesn't mean anyone can create anyone in the app. They're circumventing that because that leads down deepfake territory. Instead, you own your own little AI avatar, your own likeness, and you can share it with select people so that they're allowed to put it in videos, which I think is a very neat way to do it. And what that does is it makes it actually social. If this was an app where you could just create random cool looking AI videos and share them with your friends, there's very little connection. If you can use it to create videos of inside jokes, to tease your friends, to do silly videos about stuff you did together, that brings it to the next level, and to troll each other as well. I think that is so cool and a really exciting addition, which I think has been underplayed a bit. But when it gets released publicly, I think that's going to be the killer hook here, is that it's going to be between friends. We also feel some trepidation. This is Sam. Social media has had some good effects on the world, but it's also had some bad ones. Honest, very honest. We are aware of how addictive a service like this could become and can imagine many ways it could be used for bullying. It's easy to imagine the degenerate case of AI video generation that ends up with us all being sucked into RL optimized slop feed. He's been very honest. The team has put great care and thought into trying to figure out how to make a delightful product that doesn't fall into that trap, and has come up with a number of promising ideas. We will experiment in the early days of the product with different approaches. It's really nice to see this kind of level of openness and honesty, because he knows that people like myself, and I did this and I regret it, will just call us an AI slop app. I think the ability to create videos of you and your friends elevates it. It changes it. Obviously, there need to be safeguards against bullying. The same tool that you can use to tease your friends by having Shrek chase them around a swamp or whatever it is, can be used for bullying as well. So it's going to be a very fine line how they balance that and make sure that it's protected whilst also being fun for groups of friends to use. And I'm sure they're going to have to work that out over the next couple of months, years. In addition to these mitigations we've already put in place, which include things like mitigations to prevent someone from misusing someone's likeness and deepfakes, so you can only use your friends with permission, safeguards for disturbing or illegal content, periodic checks on how Sora is impacting users' moods and well-being, and more, we are sure we will discover new things we need to do. I think that's fair. To help guide us towards more of the good and less of the bad, here are some of the principles we have for this product. Optimize for long-term user satisfaction. The majority of users looking back on the past 6 months should feel their life is better for using Sora than if they hadn't. So I think with a lot of these other AI video applications, what happens is people use them. They appear everywhere on the algorithms. Everyone's dropping these videos. Everyone's saying, Hollywood is dead. This is the era of AI video, blah, blah, blah. We do this every single time. When VO3 came out, when the various, Kling and Higgsfield and all of the video models, every time a new one comes out, everyone's, this is it. This is the end of Hollywood. AI video is finally here. But then the excitement dies down. And things like Grok Imagine, I know it's got a feed, but I don't think many people are going onto that feed and using it just to look at cool AI images. I think this could be different because of the social aspect and the ability to add your friends and yourself into videos. So that means it might have some longevity. We'll see. And if it does, what Sam Altman wants to do is check whether it's making people's lives better rather than worse. Second, encourage users to control their feed. You should be able to tell Sora what you want. Do you want to see videos that make you more relaxed or more energized, or only videos that fit a specific interest? Okay, that's interesting. So already on your feed, you can click and say, I want to see less of this, which is very similar to what we have on social media feeds. It sounds like they are allowing for more customization though. So I could potentially say, hey, I only want to see short videos about artificial intelligence, tech news or something, and it might be able to tailor the algorithm. Which kind of makes sense because we can use a prompt to filter in a way. So we should be able to also prompt and say, hey, I only want to see stuff about Tudor history, and it would have that information. 3, prioritize creation. We want to make it easy and rewarding for everyone to participate in the creation process. We believe people are natural born creators and creating is important to our satisfaction. Now, I've seen a criticism of this, saying that every other social media network, this will fail, or like every new social media network, this will fail because most people are consumers and not creators. That is true. Very true. Very few people are willing to get on camera. Very few people are willing to actually create. The majority of social media users are consumers, not creators. Fine. This makes it very easy to create. Extremely easy. You don't need to get on camera. You don't need to write long articles. You don't need to take photos. You can create using prompts. They may have reduced the creation barrier here sufficiently to allow a lot of creators to pour onto the platform. Whether or not the stuff they're creating will be of interest to other people on the platform, we have to wait and see. Help users achieve their long-term goals. We want to understand the user's true goals and help them achieve them. If you want to be more connected with your friends, we'll help you try to do that. If you want to get fit, we can show you fitness content that will motivate you. If you want to start a business, we want to help teach you the skills you need. If you want to start a business, we'll help you teach you the skills you need. The problem is you need to do it in 10 seconds, so it needs to be micro atomic learning, but that's still pretty cool. And if you truly want to doom scroll and be angry, then okay, we'll help you with that. Although we want users to spend time using the app if they think it's time spent. We don't want to be paternalistic about that, what that means to them. So they've been accused of being paternalistic recently with the 4.0. There's several news items with 4.0. Getting rid of 4.0 totally because it's too agreeable, too sycophantic. That caused a backlash. They brought it back as a legacy model. It's available in the drop-down, but then we found out earlier this week that they were routing from 4.0 to GPT or GPT-5 whenever the conversation came too personal or too potentially risky. It was changing people unbeknownst to them from 4.0 to 5. So they have been accused of being paternalistic quite a lot recently. I don't know what that's going to look like in Sora. We'll find out. If you want to get access, it's not available in the UK. If you're watching in the UK, if you're watching anywhere that's not in the US right now, you will have difficulty getting access. You can get access. One, you need an invite code. So everybody who gets in is given, I think, 4 additional invites that they can share with people. First, you need to find somebody who's got an invite code. 2, you are going to need to go onto your desktop computer, so not a telephone, but on a desktop. Second is you're going to go to the web version. So you're going to go to sora.chatgpt.com. Do not download the app. Don't go to the App Store. Don't go to the Play Store. That's not going to work because it just won't be there. Instead, you go to sora.chatgpt.com. If you go there, it's going to say, hey, you're in the wrong country. Sora is not available in your country, in the UK, in Moldova, in France, wherever you are. You are going to turn on a VPN and you're going to set your VPN to America. Once you've done that, you will be able to get into this page. You will then need to enter your code. That's how you get access to Sora. So it has to be the web version, sora.chatgpt.com. You need a VPN to America and you need the code. If you have those 3 things, you can get in. So most people are trying to do it via the application, but the application does not exist in the UK store or in the European store right now. Using a VPN won't change that because your phone app store is set to a particular country, so you have to use the web version. That's how I've got access. There are some limitations, like I cannot put my likeness into Sora because you can only do that via the phone app, so you cannot do it via the web app. But otherwise, I've been able to create, I've been able to scroll around and look around. The reason, if you're on YouTube and you're looking at this screen, and you can see that I'm locked out at the moment, is because I don't have my VPN on. That's because I'm streaming, and the VPN will decrease my bitrate and potentially ruin the video. So that's why I'm not doing it. But if you want to do that, if you want to get hold of Sora, that's how you do it. And I recommend you do if you can, because it's really cool. So I want to show you a video that I just made. I've made a lot. Most of them are silly, but I was also testing whether we can make educational videos. Sorry, TikTok, you won't be able to see this, but over on YouTube you can. So this is a brief 10-second explainer video. The prompt was make an explainer video about large language models.
Large language models turn your sentence into small pieces called tokens. Each token is turned into numbers that run through layers of attention blocks. The model learns how the pieces relate, then predicts probabilities for the next token.
The animation is great. It's also correct, and it has all of the text is right, I think. Yep, it is nailed text. The animation is solid. The script itself is a bit meh, whatever, it's fine, but that's because I didn't give it a script. I just said write and explain a video, so I gave it extra tasks. What I would do, if I wanted to create these kind of videos in the future, I would write scripts, and I'd make sure they can be delivered in 10 seconds for atomic learning, for whatever topic, and then feed them into Sora. So I'm going to be experimenting with that today. But the quality is good, really good. And this is just an explainer video. You can also do photorealistic film, and that's probably what you've been seeing a lot of online right now. It does feel like a shift, a real shift. Again, if you can, try and get access to it so you can play around with it, because I was very skeptical of it until I got into it and I was like, oh, okay, this is really good. Use a VPN to America, and then you can enter your guest code and find somebody who's using it. They will have 4 invitations and they'll be able to share that with you. And those invitations should be proliferating and expanding, because every new person that comes in gets 4 more. So it's starting to ramp up now. Cool. Very cool. Extremely cool. Get Clarted said, I thought Sora had been released already. That's Sora 1. We now have Sora 2 as of last night. So it just released, I don't know, less than 20 hours ago. And Sora 2 is orders of magnitude better than Sora 1. Sora 1 was bizarre because they announced it, they put out lots of cool looking videos, everyone got really excited, and then there was a huge gap between the announcement and the actual release, several months. And then if you were in the EU or UK, it was another couple of months on top of that. So by the time it actually released, it wasn't very exciting, especially because we had other video models that had come out. There were also limitations to how much you could use, and it was buried away in the interface. The whole thing it wasn't that exciting. Sora 2, or Sora now, is a bit different because it has its own application, and they've built it as a social media app that you can create videos with you and your friends. So I think they're coming at it a very different way. Let me hop over the questions because I've been infusing about Sora 2 for the last 10 minutes. The main reason I'm so excited is because I was so down on it until I got access. Do you know any place where I can seek small funding for scale app idea? It depends where you are. Generally, the funding sources will depend on the country, or if you're in the EU, then there'll be different funding too. But yeah, it depends. Depends what the sector is, depends where you are, and you're looking for scaling. Yeah, and depends what round you're looking for. If you're looking for angels, if you're looking for Series A, Series B, etc. So it depends. What's this? Do you have any experience in building AI-based apps? Yeah. So yes, I have a... So what I do is, after this live stream, I have another live stream where I vibe code apps. And we're on day 23 of building a new application out of 30 and then launching it. Also yesterday, for fun, I also built a whole new app. Actually, I'll hop over to this now because it's worth talking about. Lovable, as I mentioned on Monday, they just launched Lovable Cloud and Lovable AI. Lovable Cloud basically makes it a lot easier to vibe code because it deals with all the back end, it deals with all the authentication, it deals with all the kind of fiddly technical parts that normally become roadblocks for starting up an idea. And if you're less technical, these are the kind of things that once you run up against, you like, I thought this was meant to be easy. They have made it easy as of Monday. So Lovable Cloud, it's called. To celebrate? Commemorate? No, that's not the word. To go along with this launch, they're doing a challenge all of this week called the 7-Day Lovable Build Challenge. Yesterday was Go Bananas, where you create something with nano bananas. I actually spent an hour and a half or so making something yesterday, which I'm quite happy with. It's an app which... Where is it? Which lets you, it's really hard to see in this size, it allows you to create explainer comics. I need to make my screen larger, there we go. So I made my first nano banana application yesterday, which I'm really excited about. It creates explainer comics, so you give it an idea, you give it a style, manga, line drawing, meme and superhero, then you describe your characters for character consistency, then it will plan out your explainer comic, so you can have it explain something like imposter syndrome or how large language models work, and it will create a 4-panel comic. Then you can edit the text and pull the text around because text in AI is really tricky, and then export it as a comic. So I built this yesterday in about an hour and a half. Quite happy with it. It's a good build. What I'd say is they are doing this competition all week. So today, day 3 is Lovable for blank. So you're building like I'll give you an example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build Lovable for marketing. So I'm going to build a set of tools that allow you to plug in your business idea and it helps you work out their marketing plan. So we say things like Uber for pets, which would be a delivery service. We use the analogy of different companies. So today is Lovable for blank. So have you noticed it's easy to rebuild Lovable or ChatGPT with Cloud Plus AI? What's your spin? So today I'm going to build Lovable for, I think, marketing in one day. So I'd highly recommend having a look at the new Lovable Cloud, really cool, and going through these competitions. I don't think you win anything. It's just fun to build something every day. Do you win something? To be eligible for a mystery prize. So there is a mystery prize. So yes, I do build. I'm not a software developer though. I'm a business owner and I teach digital marketing and I teach people how to vibe code, but I'm not a software developer at all. So if you're looking to hire somebody, then that's certainly not me. That would Upwork is probably going to be your best place. Somebody has asked, what's your YouTube? It is the same username. So I am Kyle Barmer. You should be able to find it on YouTube. Also, thank you, YouTube supporters. We hit 6,000 subscribers yesterday. So we're now at 6,046. I've also started to make money from YouTube. I have made £2. Sorry, £1.90 So, whoo, drinks are on me. Okay, let me hop over to... I want to talk about that Lovable challenge. I highly recommend... This week is probably the best week ever you could get into vibe coding. So if you've been thinking about vibe coding, this is it this week, because Sonnet 4.5 just dropped and it's really good. And that has become the base level model in most vibe coding tools. So in Lovable, in Replete, I think they're using it too. Bolt definitely are. A whole bunch of vibe coding tools have now made Sonnet 4.5 the default, and it's a really good model. So that model released on Monday. We also had the release of Lovable Cloud, which, as I mentioned, gets rid of all of the back-end complications, and it just makes it really easy. And that's why I was able to build that Nano Banana application in about an hour and a half yesterday. It was super easy. Whereas previously that probably would have taken me, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, but now it's light speed. And if you've never touched back-end before, this is great news for you. So I think it's a really good time this week in particular to get into vibe coding. I'm going to be doing the next stream about vibe coding where I'm building and launching an application within 30 days, and that's going quite well. I'm starting to run out of time though. It's day 2023. So there's an AI film star called Tilly Norwood. So she's meant to be a new Hollywood star. She's a white, brunette and brown-eyed AI creation, is by Eline van der Velden, CEO of AI-focused production company Particle 6 and the AI talent studio Sequoia. Oh, it's probably Sequoia, but Chinese pronunciation, Sequoia. Van der Velden said in a statement posted online, "To those who have expressed anger over the creation of my AI character, Tilly Norwood, she is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art." All of this, you've probably seen this popping up because it's getting into the mainstream media, and you've probably seen this Tilly Norwood actress. I don't think anyone cares. This is all, it's all PR. So somehow they're in Independent today talking about the backlash. And there's no backlash, nobody gives a damn. This is Particle 6 or whoever they are, the production company and this talent studio, trying to rile up interest in their AI star. Nobody cares. This is all manufactured rage. I don't think anyone gives a damn. The people working at Particle 6 and whatever this talent studio is right now, they've just woken up to a world where any of us with Sora 2 can now make ourselves an AI Hollywood star. So their Particle 6's unique selling point of, oh, we're going to create a consistent character that will appear in movies, just got demolished overnight. They are playing an old game of pretending that this is new and terrifying and that AI video is causing outrage, whereas the rest of us in the public, we're starting to get Sora 2. And this is about to become a whole lot of nothing because we have these tools at our disposal now. Yeah, it's going to be a slow rollout over the next few weeks, but they are now here. So Particle 6 is the world's leading AI production studio, AI avatars, commercials, how we use AI, about Particle. 20 years of experience. I think studios like this are about to get blown out of the water because the tools of production for creating AI video have just been democratized. Yes, we had VO3, we had all the other models, Higgsfield, etc. before. Now it's much easier and it's coming widely to the users of ChatGPT. So that means about 700 million people are going to have access to this. That's a big story. I started opening my vibe coding projects. That's a bad idea. Adrian says, are your vibe coded apps just for learning or do you plan to launch and sell them? I will be launching and selling. So I have an audience of about 250,000 people. A lot of the difficulty with building nowadays is not that building is relatively simple. The difficulty is distribution. So I already have that in place. My goal now is I'm going to be building one thing a month, launching it to my audience, seeing if there's a market, seeing if people care at all. If they don't, fine. I'll just start the next project. If they do, awesome. I'll be able to scale that up, partner up with somebody who takes it over and then go from there. So that is the plan because I have the distribution in place, use that to launch, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then go from there. So yes, I will 100% be launching and everything I'm building has that in mind. So it's not just, oh, what would be cool for me? It's instead, what will the market want? What will customers want? But we'll see how it goes. I'm about to launch one in 2 weeks. I could move a lot faster, but I'm trying to do an hour a day because I want to show that anyone can do this. and it doesn't require you to carve out 6 hours a day and grind, but instead anyone with an hour a day who can carve out that time can build something. That is the purpose of the stream. Is your network through social media? Do you have distribution connections outside? So the newsletter, I have a newsletter of about 50,000 subscribers, and social media is a couple 100,000 in total. And then network wise, I know lots of creators, so other people who have distribution. In fact, we're launching a conference together, a handful of us. So I need to start talking about that. There's a group of creators. We're on TikTok and Instagram primarily, and we have a combined reach of, I want to say 3 or 4 million, and we're working together to help each other promote and distribute. And a few of us, about 10 of us, are putting together a conference where we're going to be all delivering talks as well. So we're about to come out of working privately together and start working publicly together today we're launching the marketing for that. So that's a kind of extended network. So my own is a network of about 250,000, and then a wider network of a couple of million, and then obviously adverts, etc. What do you think of Claude Code versus code extension now with Sonnet 4.5? Tempted to go for the max plan. It's hard for me to talk about whether the 200 is worth it for you, because I don't know if that's a lot or little. Also, I get it for free, full disclosure. So for me, it's great. I'm on the 20x plan. It's pretty good. It's extremely good. A lot of people are complaining about rate limiting right now. So many people that, in fact, Anthropic have actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Anthropic have actually replied. So normally people complain about these things every time there's a new model and there's a negative chat and there's rate limiting, etc. It happens if you go on any subreddit for ChatGPT or Claude or Lovable or whatever, there's always people complaining and bitching and whining all the time. This time, Anthropic have actually come in and said, oh, yeah, we're looking into it. So here we go. This is from Ian Nuttall. He says, a lot of negative chatter about Claude code usage limits being hit very quickly. Enough that Anthropic are now looking into it. So this is from r/ClaudeAI over on Reddit. So there's a mega thread over there, yikes, of usage limit discussion mega thread. And Claude official hopped in, this would have been yesterday, and said, we're reviewing your comments about usage limits being received quickly. If you've experienced this and are willing to share your account, please send us a DM with your Claude account email address. So just be aware that there are usage limits at the moment, and that's all up in the air. And there's a bit messy. So maybe hold off and see how they deal with that. What they'll probably do is release or relax the limits and then slowly put them back in place again so that people don't notice, because people have definitely noticed this time. But honestly, Claude Code is an absolute powerhouse, and we have Claude Code 2 as of Monday as well, and it's fantastic, extremely good. Appreciate the value and info you share here. Very welcome. For scalability of apps, do you plan to get help from a software engineer? Yep, of course. So the whole idea with vibe coding, in my experience, is it allows entrepreneurs, people who are not software developers, so people like myself, to test out ideas. So I will have an idea for something, and previously, in years gone, I don't know if you've ever been to like networking events or tech hackathons and stuff like that. There's always the kind of ideas people and then the tech people, and there were never enough tech people. It was very difficult because their skill was highly in need. What's really cool about vibe coding is it allows entrepreneurial people who have an idea but don't know how to build it. They're not a software developer. It allows them to build a proof of concept or even a minimum viability product, something very basic that, one, they could take to market, maybe, depending on how sophisticated it needs to be. They can show to technical co-founders or potential technical co-founders and say, hey, this is what I built. I know it's rubbish, but could we do something with this? So instead of them saying, I have an idea, they can show proof of work, because the idea itself is nothing. 3, you can take your MVP or your proof of concept to investors. And you can say, this is what it looks like. This is what it would do. Right now it's rubbish. We'll make it good. A really good example of this is Jason, Meme Lord Technologies. Let me put him up. Jason Levin. He's on AI Overviews as Jason Meme Lord. And so Jason Levin, or I am Jason Levin, he built something called memelord.com. He didn't even use vibe coding. I think he used Bubble. He used a no-code tool to build the basic version, and it was rubbish. And he will fully admit that. And he built this memelord.com, and It allows you to make memes. He fills it up with memes every single day. About 2 weeks ago, he raised $3 million. He built a basic version on Bubble. It was a bit crap, but he used that to go to investors and say, hey, here's the idea. I already have this number of paying subscribers. They're paying me for this. And I managed to do this myself with no engineer, with no technical help, but I've proven there's a market for this. Invest in me. So he raised $3 million the other day, and he immediately hired a software developer to basically rebuild it from scratch. I think vibe coding is really exciting for this reason, because it allows somebody with an idea to actually start to action that idea. Is it going to be a fully secure, fully scalable piece of software? No, not at all. But it allows you to get that proof of concept, prove that there's a market for it and that people actually care about the idea, and then you can go from there. So I think that's what's really exciting. So with all of the apps that I'm going to be building, one per month, if any of them hit off and people want it and people start paying, I will hire somebody to rebuild it. And they will come in and they'll say, this is an absolute mess. And I'll say, yeah, that's fine. Can you rebuild it? Because I'll use the money to get it built. Previously, I've worked with people who've done this. They would raise money. So they'd raise a couple of 100,000 or whatever to put together an MVP. And then they'd go off and they'd hire somebody or a team. But they wouldn't know what to ask for. They wouldn't know what they actually wanted the product to look like. They wouldn't know what the user interface or the user experience was like, because they'd never built software before. So they'd give instructions to this software team. They'd pay them a couple of 100,000, and then it would come back and it'd be terrible, because the person with the idea has never built anything before. They've never created software. They've never had to think about these things. And so the money gets flushed down the drain. When you get to build it yourself, you realize very quickly, oh, parts of my idea don't work. How do I change that? How do I change the flow? How do I change what's the value that's been created here? But the creator, the entrepreneur, can do that using natural language, which is very, very exciting. So it's a very long answer to, are you going to hire somebody? Yes, I will. Absolutely. But only if and when the market is proven. Is there anything out there that could colorize the mesh with 3D sculpting? No, I don't know much about AI art or the use of AI for art. I would go and ask Chris, maybe, and I should be asleep right now. That's not really my field. I don't know about art, or definitely not 3D graphics. You could ask over on Twitter, Chris Castanova. She's at iCreateLife. She works with Adobe. She's the senior creative AI evangelist and community advocate. And if she doesn't know the answer to the question, she'll be able to point you in the right direction, or she'll ask someone who does know. She's the person I go to whenever I have art-related questions, because she really knows her stuff. So it's Chris Castanova over on Twitter. I'm sure she's on some other platforms as well, but she'd be the go-to for this. So I can't help there. Anthropic got knocked out of the news. So at the beginning of the week, they launched 4.5, controlled the news cycle. The same day, though, Lovable dropped their new Lovable Cloud, that's cool, etc. And then ChatGPT immediately teased, oh, actually, we're releasing something. And yesterday, they did with Sora 2. So Sora 2 has knocked Claude Sonnet 4.5, God, all these numbers, out of the news cycle entirely. Which kind of sucks, because Sonnet 4.5 is fantastic, but it's really hard to compete with video content on social media. Impossible. Otherwise, they're running a build with Claude Sonnet 4.5 challenge. We want to see the coolest things you can build with 4.5 in the next week. And 4 winners will receive 1 year of Claude Max 20x. So that's pretty much the highest plan, I think. And $1,000 in Claude credits. So it's not a monetary prize, but you get Claude Max, which is pretty cool. And credits. So there are 4 different categories or 4 winners here. There's one called Keep Coding for the most technically impressive implementation. 2 is Keep Researching for the most compelling exploration of a topic. 3 is Keep Learning for the best educational application. And 4 is Keep Creating for the most artistic use. To enter, quote post the first tweet in this thread, this is over on Twitter, through October 7th. You've got 7 days with what you build with 4.5. You can also add things like how you built it, prompts, agents, MCP, workflows, screenshots or demos. Must be your own work built with Claude Sonnet 4.5. And we'll select winners based on ingenuity, creativity, and community response. So, very cool. We have a couple of little coding competitions. That means this week we have the Lovable challenge, which I talked about earlier. Today is Lovable for blank. Tomorrow is building a game, which I really want to do, but I'm very busy tomorrow. And Friday is a self-improvement application. So habit trackers, mindfulness tools, learning aids, positive change, and at the weekend is build anything you want to push boundaries. So 2 different challenges going on, worth checking out, especially if you want to get started using these tools. How do you take it to market? This is a question about taking my vibe coding coded app to market. So this particular app resonates well with my audience. So I've built it with that in mind because I know that launching is difficult. So I will be launching it to my newsletter. Actually, on Saturday, I'll be giving away beta keys for people to test it out. So make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. The link is in the bio. And on Saturday, I'll talk about it, give out a beta code so you can play around with it. And then I'll launch to that list. And that list is about 50,000. Hopefully make a few sales from that. And then also using social media channels. So I've got 200,000 on social media and tapping into the wider network of creators for a couple of million. I'm also doing a few conferences, so I might be able to sell it there. So basically using owned channels initially, and then if we get any kind of traction, then I will look at advertising, I'll look at boosting posts, but lots of different things we can do with marketing. Marketing is actually my background, so I'm building based on that rather than building in a void, or trying to. That's the plan at least. Awesome. Adrian says, where can we find these channels? So the Lovable one is at lovable.dev/cloud. That's where they're announcing their new cloud features. At the bottom, if you scroll down, they talk about the challenge. Also on their Twitter. The Claude one is, if you go to Claude's blog, they have an announcement, but also Twitter. If you look for Alex Albert, he's like relationships at Anthropic. So he's a bit like Logan Kilpatrick, but for Anthropic. Go and follow him, and he posts details about these kind of competitions. Jolly good. Right, I'm going to finish this live up and then hop over to the next live very shortly, where I'm building an application that allows me to turn video content into written lead magnets, and then use those lead magnets on a landing page, which is also generated by my app to generate leads and prospects for a business. That's what I'm building on day 23, so hour 23. We can now pull videos from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We can pull in blog articles or written content, and we can generate 3 different lead magnets for each of those, and landing pages that collect email addresses. So we're getting there. It should be ready for beta testing at the weekend. So again, I'm going to be sending out invite codes in the newsletter, so make sure you're subscribed to that. You can find all of these videos from the live on YouTube. We've just hit 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you. It's taken an awfully long time to get there, and as I mentioned earlier, we've made our first money. I've made £1.90 from YouTube. That's not why I'm doing the YouTube. YouTube's more as a front end to the rest of my business, but it's nice to also make cash directly from YouTube, even if it is £2. So make sure you're following me there. It is I am Kyle Barmer, so the same username on all the channels. You should be able to find me, and sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the YouTube. It's all totally free. I'm also going to be announcing some conferences I'm going to be at, I think on the 15th and 16th of October. There's one in London in person and one online, which I'm doing with a number of other creators. So keep an eye on the social media channels for that, for details of those. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a lovely rest of your day.